Hi guys! In today's video, I'm going to be doing a review and swatches on the new Extra Dimension blushes from MAC. These came out about 2 weeks ago, so if you'd like to see swatches and hear my thoughts and my favorite way to apply these blushes, then please keep watching. These are the 3 colors that I picked up from the new Extra Dimension blush collection at MAC. These blushes are permanent. These are the 3 colors that I picked up. I picked up Hush Tone, Hard to Get, and Faux Sure. I picked these up about 2 weeks ago when they first came out, other than Faux Sure, which I picked up about a week ago. And so far, I really do love the formula of these. It's funny because some of them feel smoother than others. For example, Hush Tone, which is this one right here, feels a lot smoother than Faux Sure, which is this one right here. Although the colors look very, very similar, and even swatch, they look very similar. The formula of them is kind of different. This one feels a lot more gritty, and this one is Faux Sure. The descriptions online do not match what they look like in person. In fact, I would say none of these look like the described little one-liner on the MAC website. The shade Faux Sure is described online as a mauve color, but this color is not mauve at all. In fact, it looks very coppery to me. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to swatch them on my hands and show you swatches, and then I'll apply them to my face and show you how I like to apply them and the brushes that I like to use. So I'm going to begin with the lightest of the 3, which is the color Hushed Tone, and it looks like this. And I would describe this color as a coppery color. It is not too deep in tone, but it's very similar to a lot of blushes that I own. This is kind of the shade I usually go for. And like I said, it is not super shimmery, but it has a beautiful sheen, and I do think that these blushes are definitely something different and something that I would go for in a blush personally. So this is the first one, and again, it's kind of like a light peachy coppery shade. The second shade that I'm going to swatch is this one here, and this one is in the shade Faux Sure. Online, this one is described as a mauve color, but it is not mauve at all to me. And if you look at swatches of this one and Hush Tone online, these colors look very similar. However, I don't think that on my skin tone that they swatch as similar as they look online based on some of the swatches that I've seen of them. So this is the second shade, and you can see right there, like these colors look very different on my skin. The top one again is Hushed Tone, and the bottom one is Faux Sure. So those are the 2, and this one definitely has more red and orange in it. The last one, and my favorite, is this one. And on the website it's described as a burgundy, but to me it actually looks like a deep bronze color, and it's the shade Hard to Get. When I first saw this color, I was like, oh, this is not gonna work for me, I don't know. And even when I had swatched it in the store, the girl told me like, oh, you know, don't worry, I know it looks very intimidating and really dark, but I assure you it looks really beautiful on the skin. And that's the only reason I actually bought it, because when I swatched it, I was like, oh, no way, this is not gonna work for me. So it's this one right here. And as you can see, it has a lot of brown and a lot of bronze in it. I wouldn't consider this to be burgundy. Maybe on different skin tones it shows up more burgundy, but on myself it does not show up burgundy. It shows up like a deep chocolatey bronzy color. So that's what it looks like there, and those are the 3 shades that I purchased. So again, that's Hush Tone, Faux Sure, and Hard to Get. And Hard to Get's actually my favorite one. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna swatch these on the cheeks. I'm gonna swatch Faux Sure and Hard to Get. Hush Tone, like I said, is something very similar to what I already own. It's peachy, it's slightly orangey, and I think it's very similar to what I've already worn in the past. So I'm not going to swatch this one today, but on my cheeks, I mean, like I've already swatched on my hand. So I find the best way to apply these blushes is with this type of an angled blush brush. This one here is the Morphe E4, or I have another one here. This is also an angled blush brush. This is the large angled contour brush. It's the F40. So I find these two brushes the best to apply this blush. I will say that I don't think these blushes are the easiest to apply. They are definitely a little bit patchy when applied to the cheeks, and you do have to work with them a little bit in order to get them to work on the cheeks. But once you kind of get over that and you apply these blushes the way I'm going to explain, I do think they're worth it, although they are not the easiest to work with. Like, you can't just slap these on and run out the door. So again, they have a beautiful sheen to them, and you could wear these without highlight, of course. So I'm gonna go ahead and swatch the first one, which is Hard to Get. So I'm gonna take my blush brush and I'm gonna dip it in here. Make sure I coat the brush really well, so you can see like that, and then tap off as much as you can, because this color, like I said, is pretty dark. So on my skin tone, it would show up pretty stark if I didn't do that. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna lightly dab this on my cheeks. So like this, very lightly with extremely light pressure, and then sweep upwards. And if you feel like you've gone a little overboard, which I think I did in this case, you can definitely go over it again just by wiping off the brush and just re-blending over it. Just make sure you get this part really well, like the inner part of the cheek. And there you go. I think this color looks really cool, actually. And in person, I know on camera it looks kind of like dark, but in person it looks really beautiful. I'm just gonna blend out this part here. So on my other cheek, I'm gonna apply this one, which is the middle shade called Faux Sure. And I'm gonna use this type of brush, the Sigma F40, to apply it. Again, I'm gonna take my blush like this, and I'm gonna just lightly dab into the product, making sure I coat the brush completely, like that. And then I'm gonna tap off. If you really want to get the blush into the bristles, what I would suggest also is just taking either the back of your hand or like a tissue and just pressing the brush into it, just to make sure that you get the brush really well into the brush, the blush really well into the brush. And then I'm gonna apply this one to the other cheek. And again, I'm just using dabbing motion and light sweeping motions once I've gotten most of the product onto my cheek. And that's what that one looks like right there. So like I said, these blushes do have to be worked with a little bit. I don't find you can just, slap them on. I do think that they require a little bit of extra effort, and they can look patchy if not applied with a light hand and not blended in really, really well. So that's the only downside I would say with these blushes. While I do like them and think that they provide a beautiful sheen on the skin, they can be a little bit difficult to work with. If you have any questions, please do leave it in the comment section down below. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. I am a blush junkie, so I would definitely purchase these blushes. But if you're not someone who's that into blushes, or you already have a large blush collection, you may not like these, but I think it's worth it. I think it's very unique, and I think that it provides a beautiful sheen to the cheeks, and it lasts really, really long. Like, it usually lasts me about 8 hours, I would say. I'm sure you could get it to last a little longer if you put on like a setting spray, which I don't typically wear like on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!